Honourable Minister, good evening, and thank you for joining us on the program tonight. And thank you for being here.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much.
Just to start us off, Namibia and Congo, the Republic of Congo, is in the fifth session of this joint permanent commission of cooperation. Maybe just tell us a little bit as to what does this continuity of this platform tell us about the long-term diplomatic and economic roadmap that exists between Namibia and Congo?
Merci avant tout pour la question.
Thank you very much for the question. First and foremost, before I answer to this question, I would like to thank all the authorities and all those who have worked together to make this event come to life. As you would know, we had our last session, Joint Commission session in 2015, and that is exactly 11 years ago. And today, 2026, finally, we are having this session once again, which is very dear to us. And we are thankful for all the committees and all those who contributed to the realization of this event.
From your perspective, what would you say are the main goals for this fifth session of the Joint Commission?
I believe that the first and most prominent goal for this session will be to evaluate all the pending legal frameworks that had been put in place from the last session. And from this evaluation, we will be able to determine between, of course, the two governments the way forward, as we will then identify the sectors that will be of priority for investment and other frameworks of cooperation.
So then just to make sure, so this will not just be a political gathering, this is really going to be focused on business and such. Maybe as far as concrete outcomes that you'd like to see, maybe just name a few.
Alors, si on...
Put aside the MOU signed and evaluated, we will be able to direct investors of both countries in the following areas that more or less are six, one of which is agriculture, as I would say is the driving force of the economy of a country, and also industrial development, where we will also be able to exploit our resources, and of course export them to other countries. We also have the field of artificial intelligence and of course social media, and that will also help us to promote and grow in our digital economic system. And one of the sectors that will also be very interesting for Namibian investors will be tourism, as Congo holds a variety of touristic sites that will be pleasant for investment. And also, I would like of course, direct investors, potential investors, into the economic zone of petroleum and chemistry, which are developed in Congo. And we have constructing technology that we have put into place that are in the different parts of the country, Oyo, Olombo, and in the Sanga department of Congo, where we exploit wood at large. And within this framework, we also would look at one very important aspect of society, that is housing. As Congo is a growing nation, I believe that Namibian investors will be able to find and meet their expectation in these different sectors.
All right. Just a question on, how important Namibia fares as far as a partner, a trade partner for Congo at this point. And are there any strategic elements that maybe excite you between the two countries? I know Namibia would look at Congo as a gateway into Central Africa, for example, and Congo could perhaps make use of the harbor. Any such elements that excite you?
C'est très intéressant la question que vous posez.
It is a very interesting question that you asked there. For, as I had mentioned, we do have interesting MOUs to consider, and among them there are two that stand out, of which agreements will be signed. That would be between, of course, the port of Pointe-Noire and that of the Port Authority of Namibia, Namibian Port Authority, that is NAMPORT, in order to strengthen trade between the two countries. And also we have in the field of energy and hydrocarbons that also all MOUs will be signed. That, of course, with the aim, the sole aim, to consolidate and strengthen the economies of the two nations.
All right. So speaking of Pointe-Noire, Namibia has enjoyed a bit of a trade presence in Congo. Maybe just speak to us about some of the sectors that are in Congo that are open to Namibian businesses.
Bon, je pense que le Congo est un pays.
Thank you very much. As you would know, Congo is a developing country, as among many others on the African continent. And as I have mentioned earlier, the different sectors of national plan that would benefit Namibians are open and very much accessible. But today's main message or that we would like to give to the Namibian people is that Congo is a country opened to investment, and that any Namibian who believes that they have found a field or area of interest of investment in Congo will certainly benefit from the support of the Congolese authorities so that they will succeed in their endeavors and enjoy their labor within their investment in Congo.
All right. Now, engagements like this are meant to smoothen out the path forward. So maybe just what are some of the trade barriers that still exist between the two countries that you would like to see eliminated, dealt with, mitigated?
Bon, déjà, il faudrait mettre en avant.
First and foremost, I would like to salute and, of course, recognize the important efforts that have been put into place by the Congolese government in the field of investments because of the different zones of interest of investment that are tax-free and that, of course, would attract investors. However, it is important to note that every country does have its rules, and these norms are put into place in order to regulate what comes in and out of the system, and we should not discard these as we want to promote trade and exchange between our nations. And there are areas that are put into place in order to encourage more investors, and the Congolese government has gone above and beyond to ensure that it puts into place the system that is necessary to maintain, attract more, and of course have investors satisfied as they come forward for their search.
Just then, as far as how progress is going to be measured from this meeting. Now, we do know that more of these sessions were planned, but then it was interrupted by the pandemic at one point. How will progress be measured going into the future?
Il faut déjà relever que la pandémie.
First and foremost, the pandemic COVID-19 of 2020 was a very exceptional situation which slowed global economy at large, and we would not want to go through that again. And of course, a mechanism of the JCC provides that committees would meet every second year in order to evaluate all the agreements and all the understanding that have been put together. And that should not, of course, withstand the fact that also political authorities can also evaluate and meet for this purpose. I would like to assure you that all measures have been taken in order to stimulate investors to undertake all and commit to all the agreements that will have been decided upon after this session.
All right. Just a final question, Minister. All of these efforts obviously are not happening in a silo, and these nations did not randomly come across each other. But so the question then is, how does the efforts here contribute to the African continent's trade agenda in general?
Bon, effectivement, comme
As you would have mentioned, these two nations specifically have not met randomly. There is a history to the relationships and the friendship between Congo and Namibia for over 40 years now, especially with the struggle for freedom which African nations had to undergo, and also the very impactful participation of President Denis Sassou Nguesso in the year 1986 at the now known African Union. And this shows that there is a base of political ties between Namibia and Congo, and meetings such as this should serve as a basis to consolidate the friendship and relationships between the nations, but also for the African continent at large. We would want to note that the African Union has put into place the African Continental Free Trade in order to attract and facilitate exchange between nations at large, but especially to benefit and develop African nations.
All right. Well, with that said, thank you both for joining us today.
Cela étant dit, merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.